This is Digital Scouting calling. Trends from around the world. From Paris, France.
Joel.
From Dubai, UAE.
Namekan. Great. Cool.
And your host, from the rainy but beautiful city of Hamburg, Germany, Dr. Robin Kira.
What is for you?
Yes.
What do you understand as digital transformation?
So first of all, I would just press upon the same point where we were discussing what is a chatbot. First of all, so the chatbot that I saw was a scripted conversation. So that's not a chatbot. Let's just first understand that. But this is a very basic mistake that even top insurers are making by having a scripted, conversation on the website, and that is being mistaken with an AI chatbot, which is not the case at all. So let's just, that's where I actually say that we need to really truly understand what is InsurTech really all about.
Yeah.
Now, first thing is that, what is it? So it is all, first of all, you need to understand what is happening apart from the insurance industry. Let's go outside the insurance industry where this wave actually started from. So
Yeah.
I always give an example of Uber, or I'll always give an example of Kareem to everyone.
Yeah.
And then I'll say, hey, so tell me, what do you think of when you think of Kareem or Uber? I won't waste time here. So I always mention these 5 points. You think of ease, access, convenience, affordability, and transparency, and multiple other things that you basically experience with this platform. Now, how are you able to experience all of these 5 things? Now, this customer, or the major generation, the millennial population, has accepted this experience, this customer journey that is being offered to them via various other platforms. Now, you need to, as an insurer, need to understand, okay, this is a customer journey that is being understood by my customer, by the millennials. Now let's replicate this, or let's try to see how are these 5 points or this journey blending in with the insurance journey that we can come up with. So as an insurer, I would actually pick up the millennial customer journey, understand those core 5 points, where what I need to address and how I need to address them. So,
what we find in our market, for example, is that the millennial user experience, that's actually more a prejudice, because also other customer cohorts, other demographics are actually maybe slower, but adapting this very quickly. So too, we have already digital natives in the 40s and 50s, if you look at their customer behavior. So
agree with you.
I think it's just
No. So your question is whether are we limiting ourselves to millennials?
Yeah.
Is this the question?
Yeah.
No. Actually, thank you for bringing this point out. So the mistake that we also make, initially we also made that mistake that we were too focused towards millennials.
Yeah.
Today, my parents or people around you, they may be aged 50, 55, 60. They're using wellness models as well, and they're adapting quite well to it. So we have, exactly. So So Facebook or these platform economy or these platforms are not being just used by millennials. So let's just not basically limit ourselves to millennials.
Yeah.
Let's just talk about the individuals and people who are basically adapting to digital as a whole.
Yeah.
So the customer journey, the reason why we always talk about millennials, because the population weightage is more compared to the older generation. But we cannot limit ourselves. Yeah. However, the journey and experience remain the same for everyone. So what I was basically mentioning is that we need to basically bring in the customer journey of those platform economies. As an insurer, I need to understand, okay, so this means that I may need to go out of my insurance proposition as well. I have to go beyond insurance, which is something that we all are talking about these days.
But isn't that a radical difference? You had on the one hand in the early days that insurers are pushing products into the market. They are pushing products into the customer. They make meetings with them. They go to the homes, if it's an agent, untied or not tied agent. They do their magic and they sell. They not force the customer to sell something, but at least if you look at the public image of insurers around here, that's what the image is. A guy who comes to your home and sells you something you don't need. Of course, this is a prejudice. It's not always true, not always fair. But what you described, actually, to put the customer into the center of user experience, to think about what could the customer actually use, is something fundamentally different how insurances worked in the last 200 years around here. What do you say from Joel? What do you say from France? How is the state there? And what do you say about this?
I think that something that Namir said is really important. The question of the customer journey is, I think it's fundamental in the developments of the next years. What we see today is that the market is focusing on pushing products. You've just said that, and you push some products, some standardized products to the market, and the market does not need all the time all the products and all the coverages included in this product. Market has not understood something, is that tomorrow we will need to cover the need of one customer, and around this need we will have the incumbents will have to answer all of this need. This means that this goes further than just insurance topic. Today, the incumbents cover the risk carriage, the distribution, and the contracts handling. The question is, tomorrow, will we have on one side risk carriers and on the other side distributors? And instead of having one vertical on the business, we will have some horizontal piles.
To have the risk carrier, you don't need an organization of 120,000 employees. I mean, what you say, if you reflect what does this mean for 10,000s of people, it means that, I mean, if you can run a risk carrier with a few hundred people, with a few dozen actuaries, you don't need an organization of thousands of people. What say?
Yes, and this is the huge problem and the huge topic in France, because we don't need to go towards that, because we know that it will have a huge impact on the human resources. And what will we do of all these people that we don't need anymore tomorrow?
What I find quite interesting about the discussions we have here, especially about what Namer brought up with the user experience to make it more millennial, let's make it more modern also in the insurance industry. We have 3 different countries from 2 very different regions, especially when we see the demographic situation. You have the young Emirates, you have the young Dubai, you have more the older Europe if you look at the average demographics. It's really interesting to see that the demand actually for increasing and improving user experiences in both regions are actually, and George I think would agree with us, in our 3 regions are actually the same. I would have thought that there may be more differences. Maybe if we would dig deeper into the details, there are some differences.
I would like to add one thing here. Sorry to cut you off quickly. So basically what's happening is that we were just discussing this earlier as well, that the wave is global. Airbnb, I'm just going to give these small examples. Airbnb, Facebook, Careem, Uber, and multiple other platforms that we have. These are all global platforms. These global platforms are being used by millennials and digital adopters globally.
Hey guys, it would help us a lot if you could hit the subscribe button down there and to make us also grow here on YouTube. Thank you very much.